Hey everybody, and thank you for doing your daily sign-in into the world of video games. Today we're gonna talk about the bumpy ride that Halo is suffering as another member decides to jump ship. We're gonna talk about the Nintendo Direct, the last Nintendo Direct Mini that Nintendo's dropped for us. That also showed us a bit of streaming, game streaming on the Switch. We're also gonna be talking about the fact that there's gonna be the first PlayStation Plus title for the PlayStation 5 that was announced. There's also another console that is actually getting to breathe as it's getting its own unboxing videos reveals today. But as always, if you like what you see in the video, make sure to leave it a like. That will help us out and I would really appreciate it. And there's also the fact that if you enjoy anything else in the channel, I recommend you consider subscribing and also hitting that notification bell so you don't miss any of your daily sign-ins into the world of video games. Okay, so first stories that we're going to be talking about, we're going to be covering today is... a little bit of a spoiler alert there. Okay, that's the one that we're talking about. So Halo... Microsoft's new Halo game loses top director after project delay. This comes from Jason Schreier, who writes in the Bloomberg. So if you're gonna check it out, go check it out. Essentially, Chris Lee, who oversaw the production of Halo Infinite at 343 Industries, which is developing the game for Microsoft, is no longer working on it. He confirmed to Bloomberg News on Wednesday. Lee is the second top director on the project to leave in the past 2 years. So another top level director on this, what you can say is one of the biggest names for Microsoft out there, has left the development. And this is the quote that he gave. It says, "I have stepped back from Infinite and I am looking at future opportunities. I believe in the team and I'm confident they will deliver a great game, and now is a good time for me to step away." So first things that I thought when I read this kind of statement is like, okay, it went through a few PR filters, especially because we don't know, it doesn't really give us much as to why he decided to step down, why he decided to leave, what brought about this decision to have one of the top level directors that has been in the company since 2008, so like just one year after its initial conception, essentially. He one of the things that was brought back in the day was the fact that when they released this trailer that you're seeing right now, if you're watching this on YouTube, is the fact that a lot of people didn't really think that this was a next generation Halo. They didn't really, there was a lot of negative feedback on the way it looked compared to other titles, especially because this is the game that kind of sells the Xbox Series X. Is the one that says, this is my flagship title, not available on the other consoles. It probably will be available on PC, given all the statements that we have heard from Phil Spencer. But nonetheless, this is the one, this is the Halo, this is the game that you associate with Microsoft and the Xbox Series X. So the fact that they received a lot of negative feedback, I feel, and they obviously delayed the game we don't have a release date yet. We're yet to see, although at this point it seems like it's going to be their flagship title for the next holiday season based on everything that has been going on. All we know is that Lee's role was sidelined after a few weeks later, as Microsoft brought the Halo veteran Joe Staten to lead the single player campaign, and another senior executive, Pierre Hintz, to run the multiplayer. So essentially, they brought two top level executives, one to run the single player, one to run the multiplayer. So now you have like a little bit of conflict. Maybe there was a lot of creative differences between the new people that came in and Lee, who was leading the charge for a long time. So all we can say is from what we had so far, it seems like their development of Halo has been nothing like a smooth ride. Obviously, the decision to postpone this flagship title when you are launching your next generation console was not an easy one. But I do hope that this game, when it eventually comes out, just like we talked about with Cyberpunk's 2077, that things actually turn out really well. Because I love Halo. The Master Chief Collection is one of the best deals you can get in gaming right now. They just put up the Halo 4 for PC, so that you can go check that out. It's a great package with a lot of great games in it. All right, but that's enough Halo for now. Let's talk about another on the opposite side of the spectrum, talking about Bugsnax on PlayStation. And the reason being is because Bugsnax is going to be the first PlayStation Plus title to be available for PlayStation 5. So if you have PlayStation Plus and you're getting a PlayStation 5 at launch, you have a PlayStation Plus subscription, you are able to get this game for free. It's one of their deals. You can still get the game on PS4, but you will have to buy it. But if you do buy it on either PS5 or PS4, you can transfer you can get the PS5 version or the PS4 version. Only if you buy it though. If you got it for free due to a PlayStation Plus, then you cannot downgrade to the PS4 version essentially. This is interesting. I like the fact we already talked about Destruction All Stars, which essentially had a 2-month delay, and we talked about the fact that allows it to kind of take a little bit of a breather, allow it to be accessible to a lot more people, especially because it's coming with PS Plus, and by that point people have already experienced the core titles, your Spider-Man Miles Morales, your Demon Souls, your Little Big Planet, or Sackboy Adventures that they call it now. So for this one to have a PlayStation Plus release, it means that first of all, a lot of people are gonna get to try it for sure. And even if you try it for a little bit and then you get this sidetracked by all the major releases that are coming on this holiday season, you are still able to come back to it and enjoy, and this will get a lot more love just because of that matter of being in PlayStation Plus. So I'm happy, especially you get one game that looks pretty cool as part of your PS Plus subscription right from the get-go, right when you start your when you buy your PlayStation 5. I believe one of the first ones for the PlayStation 4 was Resogun, and I had a ton of fun playing that when it came out on the PlayStation 4. So happy to see that. The other part that I wanted to discuss a little bit was that Temtem just announced this is a very heavily inspired Pokemon a creature capture game, essentially, that came out on PC a while back, is making its way to PlayStation 5. This comes from Guillermo Andrades, which is the game director at Crema. This says that it's coming out after 8 months on PC and over 19 million tamed. Temtem is making its console debut exclusively on PlayStation 5 with early access beginning on December 8th. The game will feature crossplay between the PS5 and the PC communities. It's nice to see it. Nice to see this game making its way to another console. This is gonna be interesting because now you have Pokemon, obviously that massive flagship title, especially which inspired this MMO, this Pokemon-like MMO, essentially. You're gonna see that on the PlayStation 5, and you got your Pokemon on the Switch at the same time. So now, also being able to play this, I would hope. This is just my hope. This is not something that has been part of the news. Is that it will make its way to PlayStation Plus as well, especially if it's part of the December one, so you can get the early access, and then when the game actually comes out, just get it. I think that would be a great addition there, because it will get a lot more attention if you got it that way. Again, this holiday season is packed with games, especially now. This is December 8th, but Cyberpunk 2077 got delayed to December 10th, so a lot of people are gonna jump into that one. Not sure how much the audience cross over there, but it's worth noting. The one thing that I wanted to bring up is the Nintendo Direct Mini for October, which is the last Nintendo Direct Mini that Nintendo's gonna bring to us, has essentially dropped today, and it showed a lot of the awesome videos. It showed so many games that we're actually going to be covering on a special episode of Chat and Games. This is going to be recorded. If you don't know, this daily sign-in records live every weekday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So Chat and Games, we're going to record a special episode talking about all the games that were shown on the Nintendo Direct Mini, with the sexy boys in the business right after this one. And you can just find that by looking up Chat and Games on YouTube or podcast services, or just clicking the link below. But one thing that I wanted to bring up in this conversation right here is the fact that the cloud service, essentially, the Nintendo Switch showed that is basically gonna get control as part of its cloud streaming service. Essentially, this is kind of interesting because I never seen the Nintendo Switch getting game streaming services. That was mostly a push from like Stadia. I forget the Amazon one, is slipping my mind at the moment, but also the Xbox Stadia, the Xbox Cloud system. So having to see this on the Switch is kind of interesting because now the Switch is the fact that the Switch is not able to handle like the big ray tracing, and it's not obviously it's not gonna be as powerful as the other consoles, makes this an interesting contender for it to ship some of the high-end titles that you're gonna see on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. Right now, there's a free demo that you can play for Control. I played it. It's only like the first mission kind of encounter that you can actually get some shooting in. It comes with two modes. You can choose performance or you can choose graphics wise. I chose performance on mine, and let me tell you, you still get that feeling though that is a cloud game, right? So you still get some of the input lag. The game doesn't really look as great as if you would have played it natively on any of your devices. So honestly, if you want to experience the game at its greatest, it's still better to play it on the next generation consoles, PC, or maybe even the PS4 and Xbox One X if you have one of them. I just thought I brought this up because I think it would be cool, kind of cool, because if cloud services do make their way to the Nintendo Switch, then we have a lot more variety and a lot more titles that can make it there. And honestly, this is just my tinfoil hat being put on here. It will be interesting to see Xbox cloud gaming making its way to the Nintendo Switch in the future, because now, given that Xbox just wants you to play and get Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Cloud, can you imagine having the ability to subscribe to that and play it on the Switch? I think that would be wild. Like that crossover, especially they have been getting a lot of essentially great partnerships between the two. I don't think it gets to that point still, but I think we will have a great future if that was the case for sure. And last but not least, we have the AMD announced Radeon RX 6800 XT graphics. I know, such a name. But essentially, this is their competitor for the current high-end RTX cards from Nvidia. So the 6800 XT series is gonna be the direct competitor to the high-end RTX 3090. I don't know about any of the performance benchmarks or anything like that. Obviously, it was just announced today, and they have a lot of the marketing talking about how all the specs kind of played out. It will be great when you see it and you see the performance benchmarks on both the Nvidia and this AMD card, so you can actually see if it's worth it, especially because I believe this one is cheaper. This is going to be available for $649 US dollars. Sorry for us in Canada, is that's always like triple, not triple the price. I was going to say like maybe double if you account taxes and everything like that. So yeah, good to see the competitor, good to see the high-end PC gaming actually making its way a little bit more affordable. I personally have the Nvidia cards. That's the one that I've been dealing with. That's how I build my PCs over the last little while. But I was always curious to see if there was any gain or any push for me to get an AMD card instead. So the last piece of news that I'm gonna leave you with, I know I said that was the last one, but this is the actual last one, is the fact that there's been a few Xbox Series X unboxings, which I found kind of interesting. I'm showing a video from GameSpot right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, the idea here is that they show basically unboxing a few Xboxes, the components, what it brings, the controller, the power cable, and just talking about the little aspects that it brings. I found it interesting because we already know what the console looked like. A lot of media outlets and media influencers already got the box and they showed it off. Not the actual unboxing of the box, but the box themselves, and they started talking about it, started using it, and giving us a little bit of basic, a few of the features that it contains. And now is that we're getting the unboxing. I just found that it's kind of not in the same chronological order. You would think that you will get the unboxing first and then get all the features, but it's an interesting marketing strategy. We did get the PS5 unboxings literally 2 days ago, or 1 day ago, one of the two. So it's a very interesting move to have the unboxing done today. So anyway, that is everything that I got for you this week. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me for the daily sign-in into the world of video games. Remember, you can catch us live on twitch.tv/itsallfunandgames every weekday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Or if you don't want to see that, then you can catch the VOD of the recording on YouTube the following day. And so can you catch the podcast, the audio version of this, on any podcast service around the globe. Remember, if you want to be part of the discussions, I would love to hear what you think about this bumpy ride that Halo has been having. Honestly, the best part about talking about games is having all the different opinions about a particular event, a particular game. I think that's what makes this great gaming community amazing. So if you want to be part of that, remember you can do so by just writing on the comments. You can do so. You can also join the Discord channel. It will be provided on the description, and also you can email us at itsallfunandgamestv@gmail.com. Other than that, hope you have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you tomorrow for your daily sign in. And this is your daily sign out.